Hi, I'm Freak Boy, and welcome to Freak Boy Runs. Now into the second week of the first build walk. It's Tuesday morning, so it means I'm doing a threshold run today. Today's session is, once I get to the park, 2 kilometers at marathon effort. And then I bump it up to threshold for 8 by 1200 meters. And I don't know how I forgot about it, but I had forgotten about this session. And it's pretty rough. I do have 2-minute rests, intervals between the 1200s, but oh yeah, I remember this one as being particularly difficult. I don't have much light right now, but should be getting better a little bit later as I'm into the middle of the workout. So I'll pull the camera back out and check in. Let you guys know if my memory serves correct. Pretty sure it will. Okay, catch you in a bit. I have 3 of the intervals done. I had a bad sign on the first interval. I felt like quitting immediately. I'm gonna try not to tap out. Tap out today, tap out in the race. The rests are a little bit longer than I remembered, with 2.5 minutes, which is helpful. I couldn't get up into zone 3, or at least high zone 3, in the first rep, mostly because there was kind of a gradual downhill there. Even in the second rep, there's a section with a gradual downhill. This time I got up into high zone 3 near the end of the rep. So I expect if I can hold this pace, I'll be high zone 3, low zone 4 for the rest. And that's probably pretty typical, considering I always run this same trail. So that first section is always has that gradual downhill. Anyways, let me check back in with you after a few more. Almost done. I'm really laboring. I'm into zone 4 now. Yeah, I caught a pretty stiff headwind on the last 2 intervals. The wind really picked up and was right in my face for a lot of those last 2. But I still finished them strong. And the shoe change to my retired Nike Alpha Fly Next Percents made a big difference in terms of my pace. I have to check for sure, but I think it's like 20 to 30 seconds per mile. That's just my mile pace. It's not like per interval or anything, but I think as much as 30 seconds per mile faster. And maybe some of it is fitness gain from week to week. Maybe some of it is just psychological, whatever it is. It's a good sign to me. Good morning. Oh, yeah. Let me gather my thoughts here a little bit and pick you guys back up. See you in a sec. I'm doing a little bit better now. Yeah. The train I thought I was trying to get to there that I ended up losing was I felt like quitting there right off the bat, and it really worried me. And somehow something strange happened. As I went on, I felt better and better. Don't get me wrong, I felt more tired, but somehow I just felt better about getting it done. And even though I was more tired, I was executing each interval a little bit stronger than the last, I think. I have to check the numbers. It's a little bit too much for me to pull the phone out while I'm running here, so I'll check it when I get home. But it's very possible that last rep and maybe even the last two were my strongest in terms of speed. I started dipping into zone 4 in the last 3 reps, which I thought was good. I thought I might get up there a little earlier, but yeah, as I just at the beginning, I felt like I wasn't getting my heart rate up enough, so I just pushed a little harder. And it was like right about then that I was thinking, wow, if I have to push harder to get my heart rate up, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. But then I got my little rest period, and it was 2.5 minutes instead of 2. So I don't know, that probably helped both physically and psychologically. And each rep I just felt a little more confident about being able to finish. And by the time I got to rep 5, there was no doubt in my mind. So anyways, yeah, that's a successful session. I'm pretty happy with that. So probably pick you guys back up on Thursday morning for Tempo Thursday. Adios. Somewhere in the middle of my tempo session, which is one that I find pretty hard for a tempo, I have to go 1 kilometer in high zone 3, and then 1 kilometer in low zone 3, and then no breaks. Repeat and do it 7 times. I find it pretty tough not having any breaks, but I'm sure it's good for me. Okay, gotta concentrate on my heart rate. Pick you guys back up in a sec. Oh, that was about as hard as I expected it to be. I'm still not quite actually done. I'm still on the low zone 3 section. I wanted to wrap it up before I get close to the highway. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways it felt harder than the threshold. It's really tough. to sustain that with no breaks. I got her done, and that always feels good. Yeah, I'm too tired for this right now. Sorry, but I'm just gonna have to pick you guys back up on the long run Sunday. See you then. Hey, it's Sunday morning. Just do a quick intro here to my long run. It's meant to be a 17-mile long run. I've got hot spots of 3 kilometers each. There are 3 of those, and then 1 final hot spot of 1 kilometer for a total of 10. If I'm feeling good, I'm going to do what I did last week, and then that means tack on an extra mile or so to do a little bit of extra hot spot. But that's going to be a mid-game decision, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to incorporate at least 3 hill climbs. Good morning. Possibly 4, but for sure 3. So, okay, I'm checking in somewhere in the middle. See you in a sec. Getting a treat again today, although from a distance. One hot air balloon. I don't know if there's any more hiding behind the tree line waiting to launch. There's one guy there. I started just a little bit too early to catch him going over the lake. Oh well. There was another one hiding behind the tree line. He's hiding behind the tall weeds here. Maybe I can go up high enough, hopefully. Well, the weeds stop here. Or at least they get shorter. There he is. I'm all done the hot spots. I'm actually almost completely done the run. I totally forgot to bring the camera out, which in some ways is good, because it means I was super focused on the task of running. Yeah, the hot spots went pretty good. I added bonus 2 kilometers on the last hot spot. It was only meant to be 1, so I made it 3 like the rest, for a total of 12 kilometers of marathon effort. I ended up, my pace has been slower than last week, and part of that might be, you know, just the fact that I've done 2 heavy weeks now. But I think the bigger factor is this thing. It's my newer Camelback, the bigger capacity, so it's like 1.5 times the volume of my other one. I wanted to make sure I didn't run out of water, so I got a bigger one, because I was cutting it pretty close in the last few sessions. So it's easily an extra probably 3 pounds of water that I'm carrying with me. So I'm weighing on my feet today. It'd be hard to tell while I'm moving, but those are the Nike Alpha Fly, the next percents, the first version. Good morning. And these have been retired from racing as well. I've done, I think, a couple of long runs in them since they've been retired. Good morning. And yeah, I think they had like 150, 160 miles on them. So they're still good for a while. I've got, I think, over 700 on my other pair. And I'm still using them once in a while. Although I feel like they start hurting my feet. Anyways, enough of that. I'm going to come back after I'm done and do my cool down walk. So I got to go up a hill right now. And I don't want you to have to witness that. See you in a bit. Another treat for you guys. He's back. I'm almost done. I have like a quarter of a kilometer left. So that puts a smile on my face. The fact that I'm almost done and seeing Bagpipe Guy. Okay. Oh, I've just been relaxing. It didn't even occur to me to pull out my phone and look at my data, but probably doesn't matter. I know that all of the hotspot kilometers were, you know, kind of a little bit slower than what I did last week, and I think on average, I don't know, I mean, it's hard to say. My entire run was a little over 18 miles and took me about 16 minutes longer than last week, which was, I don't quite remember, 16.2 or 16.1. So a couple miles longer, 16 miles more in time. That's about right. Like I said, this extra weight from the water, I think, probably slowed me down a little bit. The key today is I just feel really good right now. Not that I think it would have been wise to run significantly harder or longer, but yeah, considering that I just ran 18 miles and I'm on my third of my 3 miles of walking to cool down, I feel good. I still have energy. I'm sure it'll feel nice to go horizontal when I get home, have a shower and have a smoothie and all that stuff. But I feel really good. I think part of that is maybe all the extra hydration. I thought I was going to have a lot extra. The bladder in this one is, like I said, 50% bigger, but I ended up using all of it. I mean, it went dry right before I finished, so it was just enough for the 18 miles. I guess that means I'm gonna have to ration a little bit more carefully when I get into 20 and 22 miles in the next few weeks. But yeah, I think it was a good move getting this larger Camelback, just so that I can make sure that I'm not, good morning, I'm not getting dehydrated I think that's really important. My fueling was on point. And yeah, like I said, I didn't even think of bringing the camera out. So I suppose if you were viewing that negatively, you could say I was lacking in concentration, but the camera's not the important thing. So I'm going to view it positively in that I was zeroed in on the running and the running support things like the fueling and hydration. So I think it was overall a good thing. There it's sun. I'm confused of where it's going to be and if it's going to be casting a shadow on my face, but yeah, I'd have to just say I'm really happy with the run. So all of that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the week. As usual, if you good morning everybody, if you're enjoying the content, please go below and hit the like button, subscribe as well if you haven't done that before. Share with your friends, do all the things. Comment below if you get a wild hair. And until next time on Freak Boy Runs, embrace the misery and Freak Boy out.